Hello, my name is Tony. Welcome to the alternative tour of the British Museum, Series 1, Part 1, titled A Merlin's Plate. I have been using the British Museum as a kind of research laboratory and temple and sensitivity workshop as part of my ongoing journey for over 30 years. This particular video is looking at what some people might call the esoteric or occult has actually been around as part of the human story across many cultures for thousands of years, and it may be just as relevant today as it was then. It's important to stress that this is an experimental exploration into the medium of video for this kind of work, and I would appreciate your comments and feedback. I hope you find this interesting. There are lots of stories from folklore that have characters like Merlin. If these stories have any foundation, there would need to be an in-depth understanding of how the natural laws work that they would need to draw on to become the people that they did. This particular plate in the early European section of the British Museum is interesting in that it seems to show knowledge of how the daily living of a life can, over a lifetime, refine the whole of the experience of life into what could be called the essence qualities of what that life had done. This plate was put into a grave in southern Germany in about 700 BC. Looking at the overall design on the outer rim, it looks like a 5-pointed star or a pentagram. We have 5 fingers on our hands and 5 toes on our feet, and as Leonardo da Vinci's famous drawing of a man showed, our 4 limbs and a head also forms up as a pentagram. Could the idea of us humans as pentagrammic structures go back to the early cave paintings? If we highlight the outer rim by extending the major lines to a point, then it becomes clear that there are 2 pentagrams, a red one inside a black one. Could this be showing 2 processes at work, an internal and external? If we trace the finer lines, we can see that some of these lines radiate out from the black pentagram to form a delicate net or web surrounding the outside, whilst the lines from the red pentagram radiate inside to form a delicate web internally. The space between the black and the red seems to show a radiation between each other. As we live, we generate energies, and depending on what it is we are doing, the quality of that energy changes. Think of the difference between being depressed and feeling inspired. Could this plate be saying that the energies we create affect us internally and radiate externally? And could the external radiation attract energies or powers of a similar quality to what is being generated, thus adding extra to all we do and think? A healer, by being a healer, attracts the quality of healing. A leader, leading, attracts the qualities of leadership. However, at the death of the physical body, this pentagrammic powering of life stops. Perhaps this is why the ends of the pentagram are cut off, to show that no more energy can be generated. Looking at the central region of the plate, there is still a section of the design that is intact, not cut off. Is this indicating that something has survived the death of the physical body? Let's go back a bit to all this processing that was going on whilst the person was alive.
In all natural processes, energy usage can be split into three parts: that which is expended, that which is used to maintain what has been built already, and a small, more refined amount that can be kept. For example, Madame Curie had to process tons of pitchblende just to get a teaspoonful of radium. Radium, whilst in the pitchblende, is too dispersed to be effective, but when pitchblende is refined into a concentrate of radium, it becomes one of the most powerful substances on the planet. Marie and Pierre Curie were investigating pitchblende because it could create a conductive atmosphere 300 times stronger than pure uranium. Maybe we can read the outer triangles of the central part of the plate as the various concentrates of all the processes that went on in a life. This could be indicating another level, whereby the results of a life become such a strong concentrate that it crystallizes. Could the 7 red triangles be talking about the crystallization of a person's self-decided life, and the 7 black triangles the crystallization of what was attracted to the person because of how they lived their life? Could these crystalline resultants interact to form a unique web upon which a person's consciousness could anchor, thus creating another form that could survive the death of the physical body? Whilst we are alive, we constantly have choice as to what we let into ourselves. At the point of death, this changes to when other things now have a choice as to whether our configuration can enter their worlds. In esoteric studies, this kind of concept is often attached to the number 8. So maybe that is why at the very center there are 8 black triangles. Looking at the plate as a whole, could it be telling us that the culture that this plate came out of understood that life after death was possible? And perhaps more significantly, that each life has a unique journey of discovery to find the purpose of their own life. Because if, like our fingerprints, the 8 triangles at the heart of the plate are unique to each life, then ultimately it is down to each person to follow their own destiny. Clearly, there is much to be learnt from the endeavours of others, but as this plate indicates, the decisions and actions will always be your choice.